Okay, for all you kombucha lovers, in case you never made kombucha before, I want to show you what you need to get first. So obviously you need the big quart-sized mason jars. You can do smaller, but I like to make big batches. And this too will probably make about, I would say about 8 to 10 possibly of your kombucha jars, depending on the size of your jar. And then after you boil your sweet tea, actually, let me show you here. I'm making a batch of green tea right now with some loose leaf jasmine green tea from Paris. It's actually delicious. Anyhow, I'm just letting it simmer after I boiled it. Fill up the huge pan and I put only 2 cups of sugar. It actually calls for around 4, but I don't really like 4. It makes it too sweet. So we will go back over here. After you fill up your tea bags, like what we did here with these guys, you cover them. Well, first let's back up. You put the tea in the jars, and then you put your Scoobies. I buy these ones online. You put your Scoobies in there, in your tea, after it's gotten down to room temperature or cooler. And then you also need not only your cheesecloths. I got these ones are just regular. They're not really cheesecloth, but they're thin enough and they breathe just fine. And then I had silly little rubber bands from Costco, asparagus that I bought. And I like to save the rubber bands just for that purpose. Because whenever you're done, you put them around the top of your jar and you rubber band them and you let them breathe for 7 to 10 days. You kind of let it ferment with the Scooby in it. But also, after that step, you need to get a heat mat. And the heat mat is what it does. It says right here, the temperature is 70 to 85 degrees, and that's perfect temperature for fermenting your kombucha. You don't want it to get cold and you don't want it to get hot. So after you put all your tea and stuff in, you let it sit there for 7 to 10 days on your heat mat. I like to put a big towel over it when it's done. And I'll show you that in the next video because we're getting ready in 7 to 10 days to do another batch. You want to check, before you start putting in your fruit, you want to check for your kombucha pH test strips. And it tells you the right pH balance, because trust me, you don't want it too acidic and you don't want it too flat. So it's just like, well, not like making beer, but it kind of is. Anyhow, so that's your quick tip for beginners, what you need, your basic steps, and I will see you at the next one for part 1.